So go on, tell a friend. If they rockin' red, they're a 10. Champions, we the best, we come again. Kop-ish clean up in every region. Elevation in every season. Catch up in all the fast match up in real rap. And drifty go on, tell them this is that. This is that. This is Kopish. This is Kopish. Reppin' Liverpool till the end. Champions, we the best, come again. This is that. This is Kopish. This is Kopish. The main free back up in your screen. Real ones know this the place to be. This is Kopish.
Yes, people, welcome back to Team Kopish. What time is? It is the LFC Focus Show. Big up my two co-hosts in the building. We've got Jamie, got Ram. How are you guys, man?
Oh, good, man.
Good as possible, bro. Surviving, bro.
I had an exorcism, so everything's good, man.
Jamie's a mad man.
I might need an exorcism.
Nah, guys, just quickly as well. So sorry we're late today. That's on me because I'm not well, as you probably can hear. I don't know if it's the super flu. I was telling the guys, I think Ram's suffering a little bit as well. When I say to you, I feel like I just had a fight with Ngannou. And then after that, I had to fight. I don't even know, bro. I don't even know. That's how mad it is, bro. But I just feel like absolute crap. So big up everyone that's feeling unwell. Hopefully you guys all get better if you are ill before Christmas. You get me? But listen, we got a show to do. I will try my best to let these. I'm just not really gonna speak. I'm just gonna let these guys speak. But there's only one place to start, guys, and that is. I don't know if you guys see it. Lewis Steele's been speaking a lot about Liverpool's transfer dealings.
Yeah, shut up,
yeah, big up Lewis Steele.
Yeah, come on.
One of the things that he spoke about was Adam Wharton. Now he did say, that Wharton doesn't look likely for January. However, he said keep an eye for the summer. What are you guys saying about this? Do you think there's any truth for this? Because this Wharton, it's been Baleba. There's been a couple of midfielders that we've been linked with, guys. Like, do you think this Wharton thing could be a real possibility?
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to get a midfielder in the summer because I feel like we're going to get rid of one first team midfielder. So I think we're going. I got a feeling. If an offer comes in for Alexis McAllister, I think the club accept it.
Interesting.
I think the club accept it.
But here's the thing, though, Jay. He's having a bad season. His only bad season that since he's been at Liverpool. Do you think it's a bit harsh if we were to sell him, though? Yeah,
maybe. But the way we want to play, I look at McAllister when he first came in and the way Klopp used him, and he didn't use him correctly, really, because we didn't have a DM. Slot almost uses him in the same way, really, as that pivot player, that more defensive-minded player.
Yeah,
he's never been really given the license to play his game at Liverpool since he's been at the football club. To be fair to him, if you're going to get someone like Wharton in, who, I can hear it. I can understand why, because he's a deep line playmaker, and that's what Slot wants. That's why he wants for Zubimendi in the first place. I don't see Slot giving up on Gravenberch.
Yeah.
So if he's going for Wharton, I see it as a Wharton, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Wirtz sort of like midfield 4 rotational in that place. And, Szoboszlai is playing at the moment like Superman, basically, and I actually think he's the future Liverpool captain in a couple of years' time if he's still at the football club, if we tie him down to a new deal. Grav just looks like he's Slot's kind of guy. Curtis Jones is now getting the plaudits he richly deserves.
100%.
It's weird right now that I'm singling out McAllister as maybe the weak link in that midfield, which is crazy to think about because he's a fabulous footballer. Yeah. But I don't think he's ever suited what Liverpool had. I don't think he's ever suited Liverpool in that way because we don't play him in a more natural way that he wants to play in, because we're playing him that defensive-minded midfield area where, he's not really a deep line playmaker He's not a box-to-box midfielder. He's more of like a 8/10, ain't he? He wants to, but we don't play him that. We don't play him that way. I actually think he's the one. If we get Wharton out, that could be in danger.
Interesting. What about you, Ram? So let's say the Adam Wharton stuff is true. Jay saying if Wharton was to join Liverpool, it could be McAllister that makes way. Are you on the same sort of wavelength, or are you thinking a different kind of idea that Liverpool might have in mind?
I think it's definitely possible that Adam Wharton's will be a Liverpool player next summer. I think he's a player that the club took a very good interest in. That's the issue, is who's going to come out for him, and it's whether we can get rid of one of the starting players, because I don't see us getting more on top of what we already got. I think if we get rid of like an Endo or someone like that, it still wouldn't satisfy what Wharton wants. Wharton wants to start games. Wharton wants to play football matches. At some point, Wharton's going to be like, I'm an England international, bro. Like, I'm going to start for my country. If I start for my country, I better start for one of the top teams, bro. That's the real issue. Do I see McAllister? The question is, right, do I see the club selling McAllister? I don't know. I don't know about that, because he's still an asset that we have, that I think the club still values at this point. He's still at that age where we can still get the best years out of him. I don't think we're going to get astronomical money from him. I still think we're going to get around about like the 45-50 million pounds for a player like him. So I think the club will be like, look, we'll get like a 50 million pound profit, but if we keep him, we can still possibly get more money through what we earn during the season than just selling him. Yeah, I think it's a definite possibility. Whether we can get it done, I don't know. I don't see us getting rid of our first team players, in my opinion.
So McAllister will be 27 on Christmas Eve, I believe.
Is he already?
Yeah.
Right. When he was 24, going on 25.
How old's Wharton right now?
22.
22.
22. How old's Grav? 23, 24?
Yeah, Grav's like 23, 24.
Bosley 25, Curtis Jones 22.
Grav is 23, Curtis Jones, I think, is 24. Yeah, okay. 24, turning 25.
Yeah, Bosley is 25. See where I'm going with this? Endo's going to leave, but I don't think Endo leaves means you have to buy a replacement for Endo, because Endo don't play. I just feel like with Slot, with his midfield, when he's got an established midfield that he's happy with, I don't think you're going to get much rotation there. So having Wharton, who's going to be an 80 million pound midfielder, he's going to come to the football club and start football games, ain't he? You got Verts at the moment that's got to squeeze in there somehow as well. I don't see it. I would love it, by the way, to have us have McAllister, Bosley, Verts, Curtis Jones, Gravenberch, and Wharton. That's 6 midfielders. We play 3. I would love that for squad. I just don't think we're doing it. I don't see a world where one of them, like, they all stay. Endo's going to go. As I said, he doesn't really matter. Curtis Jones ain't going nowhere. I don't know, And you know what? Football can be quite horrible at times, because, as we know, McAllister's a wonderful player, but it's not what you done for me yesterday. It's what you're doing for me today, isn't it?
Well, this is what I was going to say, guys, because all right, so here's this now, yeah? Also, actually, on my days, that's how you know I'm proper ill. I forgot to even say, people like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. On the road to 40K, I think we're just under 200 subscribers away from 40K, so if you could help get us there, we'd really appreciate that. This video is sponsored by okjersey.com. You can go and get your football jerseys for about £15. Use the code Kopish to get 8% off, people. With that being said, with what the guys are saying, like, let me ask you guys this as well, actually. If we sign Adam Wharton, there's an argument to say we're bringing in a playmaker. But do Liverpool need a playmaker or do we need more of a destroyer? Because there's been a lot of talk about the balancing. And let's say, Jay, that we bring in Wharton. I'll be so happy with Wharton, by the way. And let's say Endo doesn't leave and we don't replace him. We don't really have like a defensive-minded midfielder in that whole setup. Other than Graf, who's kind of been converted to a DM's kind of thing. Do you see what I mean?
I've always been. I've said, as you know, Matt. I've said this for a long time now. A long time. I think I don't particularly think you need an out-and-out DM in football as much as you used to. Now it's about system and shape. You can get your system and shape right, and you've got players who can defend and attack. I think you're on for a winner. Now, if you got Gravenberch, and because if you look at Gravenberch's stats for the position he plays, his stats are actually very high in the DM kind of what a DM's meant to do.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
You mean interceptions and things like that. Yeah.
And the way he covers ground and cuts the passing lanes in. If you got Wharton who's doing things similar to that, but also is your forward-thinking passer, because as much as I love Grav, that's not what he is. Although Grav does move the ball forward quickly, he's not as key with his passing as a Wharton is. I think that's what we're looking for. I think we're looking for deep line playmakers, someone who can get the ball, get his head up, and find that path forward like that. We haven't got anyone in our team who does that. Even McAllister. If you watch McAllister lately, McAllister waits on the ball a lot now.
I've noticed
he doesn't release the ball quickly at all.
But that's an issue because even though I know the manager kind of wants to not do that, he doesn't want to play quickly. The manager wants to play with a lot of control and probe and try and break down the opponent. Very different to Klopp, right? But looking at McAllister out of all the players, Gravenberch, I feel like assesses the situation, decides when to drop the shoulder. McAllister will get the ball and doesn't quite like know what to do and will just sometimes just pass it sideways a lot. You got Wirtz who sees that and is like, nah, do you know what? We're not progressing the ball. So you'll see a lot of times Florian Wirtz drop into where the DMs are and go and collect the ball and ball progress. And you're right, Jay. Maybe that is why we are after Adam.
It helped Wirtz. It helped Wirtz more to stay at the pitch. And Ian's saying, what have I just heard? DM's the most important position in midfield. It used to be. Who's the DM for Barcelona and PSG?
I mean, they kind of don't have a soul. They use Pedri and De Jong. So that's not a destroyer. It's more.
They're not destroyers. They're still DMs. They're still defensive midfielders. They're just
all right. Do you know what I will say though?
Destroyers. Yeah.
De Jong is a very
can do the holding role. He's done
PSG.
the holding
By the way, PSG
he's not a destroyer.
PSG got rid of their destroyer for a playmaker.
Yeah. For real. Yeah, they got rid of your guy.
They got rid of and
put in Fabian Ruiz, right?
And got a more defensive line playmaker because they want to move the ball quicker. I'm not saying that I don't want a hard hitting DM in there. I'd love it, But the way football is going right now, the way systems are going right now, a lot of these top guys, they want deep line playmakers. They want to move the ball forward very quickly and get it into their danger players. And if the structure of their team is right, they expect the team to defend well anyway. I don't think managers are concerned about conceding one goal in games as much as they used to be anymore, as long as you're scoring 2 or 3 at the other end.
Do you know what? I agree. Just quickly, you see, obviously, when Slot first came into Liverpool, he wanted a DM. He wanted Zubimendi. Zubimendi, again, is not a
deep line playmaker.
Yeah, he's a deep line playmaker. Yeah. Wharton is the same thing. So is he looking at that going, do you know what? Grav, you've done amazing in that role. However, the way you can drive with the ball, if we can get you slightly further up the pitch and you can drive, because remember, big up Ryan Babel, and Filthy Fellas. Filthy Fellas had Ryan Babel on the show. I think that was over in Saudi, I want to say. Big them up. I was watching some of the show, and Ryan Babel was saying about how Grav is naturally like an 8. Like he can actually shoot from outside the box. And we've seen a couple of times when we've seen Grav shoot and whatnot. Grav is a natural 8, but I think he has the discipline to play the 6. Whereas now, I think he wants to bring in that playmaker to almost allow Grav a bit more freedom, and that could potentially unlock Liverpool even more so. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
No, I agree. I'd love
100%.
I think we'd all love it, wouldn't we?
I think the one thing that we saw for Grav last season, I mean not the last season, but the season before when he first joined, was that in open areas of the pitch, well, like not even open areas, but I used to say in like bigger pitches, like you saw at the Etihad, Wembley at times, giving him that area to run and free roam and drive with the ball. That was his biggest asset. It was biggest asset. The half turn, we always talk about the half turn, pick up the half turn, spinning. We all talk about it. And I feel like whilst that is his game, in a DM, you're not really able to do that because you can't really vacate your, or as like a proper sitting anchor DM, like what De Rossi used to do, what Carrick used to do, what Xabi Alonso used to do, what Busquets, and so on and so forth.
Hello, them boy there. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
You can't vacate your area because say if we lose the ball, that area that area is exposed.
Well, we do make our area. Remember, Grav gave away the blueprint. It was like, oh, they remember. I'm gonna say the Everton game. Interviewed him. Oh, Ryan, it's just that you're getting into more goal scoring opportunities. He was like, yeah, well, the manager, said, if I have an opportunity to go forward, I go forward. And it's like, bro, you're the DM, like, or the anchor man, whatever you want to call it. Like, you're supposed to be the guy that if there's a counter, you're there, because Szoboszlai is the only other person that can cover ground like that. Like, Gravenberch is faster than what people think, but Szoboszlai is obviously faster. McAllister can't cover that space. Neither can Curtis Jones. And that's why I also feel like as well, Curtis Jones playing alongside Gravenberch, he's another playmaker, except for Jones does it in a different way. Jones does it in 1-2s, link up, like getting a team.
He's technical,
like,
isn't he?
Yeah, whereas Wharton is more, he will look for that killer pass. And it's something that, it's good to have, like, as a weapon, Jay. Because I'm happy with Curtis Jones, very, very happy. He surprised me more so, like, because I felt, coming into the season, Curtis Jones, I trust him, but he's probably going to be another role player. But, bro, Curtis Jones has been arguably the best midfielder alongside Szoboszlai this season, no?
Yeah. Curtis Jones, Szoboszlai have been our best midfielders this season. No doubt about it. Grav's had good games. I think Grav gets there's a bit of hate on Grav at the moment, which I don't really understand. But no, I feel coaching in top end football now has changed a little bit from a defensive point of view. Because if you listen to managers talk and coaches talk, and it's just not our coach, it is many coaches who talk like this, is that they don't always talk about goals conceded. They talk about chances and big chances given up. That's what they talk about more. And I don't think they mind the one goal here and there that they concede as long as they score in 2 or 3 or further up the field. And to do that, you need like playmakers in midfield to get the ball to the talent up top. Wirtz drops too deep because everyone holds onto the ball for too long. So he has to drop deep to find space. If you've got an Adam Wharton in your midfield who can get his head up and find that ball quicker into space, Wirtz can do much more further up the field instead of coming so deep for it, which then gives you more advantage to press higher up the pitch, be more solid through the midfield, and have more attacking depth up front. So, yeah, things like that equal it out. Look, I'd love a destroyer. I don't think there's many destroyers in European football at quality at the moment. People can probably name destroyers, but are they at that quality? Are they at the quality to come to Liverpool Football Club? That's the difference. They're out there, but
I agree.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're a destroyer, Jay and Ram, you've got to be. I'm talking Super Saiyan levels, because I agree with Jay. If you get that destroyer, it's going to change the way how you play. And if that destroyer is not good on the ball, it's actually going to hamper you, especially when you're at home and you're trying to dictate a game. And what people will do is they won't even really mark your DM, because they're not, like in NBA, where they're not showing the player no respect, they won't even go nowhere near them, like to shoot, so to speak. They'll start doing that with it. And they'll just, they'll mark everyone else and go, all right, the onus is now on the DM to break you lot down. And that's why, I agree with you both, this is why Curtis Jones has been moved into the midfield, because Gravenberch, they know what he can do, but now with Curtis, you've got something more to worry about. I should say McAllister, sorry, because at that point McAllister wasn't really doing much with the ball.
There's also each of these players have their own strengths, and one of Curtis's big strengths was that on the ball, he would, if you're looking on a tactical basis, he would attract 2 or 3 players towards him, and like because they all those players believe that they have a chance of winning the ball back, his close control, his natural ability as a 10, being able to shift around and do a couple of neat little moves on the ball, it gets us out of situations where the whole game is a lot more open. Like you talk about the Newcastle game, our first goal that Gravenberch scored. He literally took 3 or 4 players out of that game by just playing a simple pass to Gakpo, and then Gakpo gives it to Grab. So it's those kind of situations where you're like, he has proved to be a massive asset to the team. That's why I was not keen on selling him at all. However, the problem is I feel like you can play with a destroyer, but like you said, Matt, it has to be of the level. And let's not forget, when we talk about destroyers, we had Fabinho. Fabinho was a very good player of the ball. Like
he's just a great footballer. Yeah, it's just great.
You wouldn't just say. I know people say like he was like a destroyer, which he kind of was. But he
high
was
level.
Yeah, the level.
He was literally a mix of Mascherano and Xabi Alonso all in one.
Yeah, because the destroyer is Endo. You see, it's someone like Endo, just winning the ball and just passing it safe. Like that's a destroyer.
Mascherano as well. To be fair to him, that's what Mascherano was like.
Yeah, and then when Mas went Barca, I would say his game enhanced a lot, but they also played a bit centre back, didn't they? So like he had a bit more time with the ball in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like with every like DM, like even people talk about Declan Rice, right? Declan Rice is still a very good player of the ball. Like he can pass the ball.
He can pass the ball. That's what I'm saying.
He's got good.
But that's not their DM. Their DM is Zubimendi. So who's known for passing.
Yeah, exactly. So and you look at Rodri as well. Well, we all know what Rodri's about. I think personally for me, he's in the modern game in the 21st century. He's the best DM that I've seen that come out of Spain, better than Busquets and Xabi Alonso. I know it's a very, very controversial opinion, but
you're doing all right then, to him, Ram.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, because here's the thing, Ram.
I hear you, though.
See, Busquets, Rodri is Rodri's a joke. I think Rodri though is different from Xabi Alonso though, because what I would say is Xabi Alonso was a deep line playmaker. That's not Rodri. I don't even know what Rodri is. I think
Rodri for me, he's has the one thing that I think Alonso and Busquets didn't have, which was he wins games, and I rate that a lot.
You don't think Xabi Alonso could win a game?
But he
and a team open with his passing.
No, but Rodri can do that and also be a threat at goal.
Rodri used to be able to do that. I think we got to put into brackets.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean? I feel like because the modern game has become what it is, and I feel like Rodri's like an archetype of those.
Yeah, Rodri's
like,
class, man. Yeah,
of like, oh, you don't.
Even Busquets, you're forget. You know, Busquets is so press resistant. You can get the ball off him in a phone box, bro. Like you can't get the ball off Busquets, bro. Rodri was not press resistant like that.
I understand what Ram's saying.
Rodri also wins. Yeah. Rodri has the capability of being like, give me the ball. I'm gonna win the game for you, man. Like, he has that.
Wearing a Ram suit. I understand what. Look,
I know Ram's. I know what he means. I just disagree with him. I know
Rodri. If you go by a DM who can play with the ball, Fabinho and Rodri were for me arguably and two of the best in Premier League in the modern era, right? But unfortunately, Rodri's at City, and there's no one else like that around Europe. That would,
that's what I'm saying.
At the quality that Liverpool can go and get in, so Liverpool are looking elsewhere. I will say this though: is there any coincidence that Liverpool are playing well again as Curtis Jones is playing games more?
But this is what I'm saying.
Because Curtis Jones can defend. It's underrated his defending ability. Yeah, he's extremely press resistant, right? You know, you've seen him get the ball in tight spaces and he comes out with it. He's extremely good at it.
Jay, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think Curtis Jones might be more pass resistant than Gravenberch. You know?
Yeah, because Curtis is a better passer of the football. He's more confident in that area.
But even don't get me wrong, it's hard to describe it. Grav has a way of getting past you. We know what he's going to do. It's like Thiago. It was the same. Actually, no, Thiago's different. Let me not even use that's a horrible example.
Yeah, Grav's because he uses his limbs. He's long-legged.
When Grav does that, that, drop the shoulder. But Curtis Jones can just like with footwork. But then so can Grav. No. Do you know what it is? I think Curtis has got that bit of lower center of gravity. And you have to understand, one guy is 6 foot and the other guy is 6'3", I think it is. And I know it's not that much, but I feel like Curtis' lower center of gravity is able to change direction a bit more nimble. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
No, I think Curtis is just a very good technical footballer that gets completely underrated. In my opinion, I think he's a very technical footballer. Do you see some of the? Do you see how much Wirtz likes playing with Curtis Jones? By the way,
bro, Wirtz loves Jones, man,
because they're in the same way. Because he can see, he knows if he gives him the ball, he ain't gonna lose it. Like, let's be real. You know, like there's times. Do you know what it is? There's times when I see Wirtz get the ball, and he sees McAllister, and I'm not just thinking about McAllister or someone else, Gakpo. And he's like, he holds on to the ball because he's not sure if he wants to give you the ball. I don't know if anyone's clocked that. For example, if he sees Ekatike, he'll give him the ball. If he sees a Gakpo or an Isak, it might not be straight away all the time. And I wonder whether that's just a trust thing. Whether, like, I don't know if you guys agree. But...
Yeah, I know. I agree. And it's like A9 says in the chat here. I've noticed this in recent weeks as well. Curtis is releasing the ball a lot quicker, but McAllister's now holding on to it too long,
which is insane to me.
Yeah,
someone's done.
But McAllister's been, and what's so mad is McAllister's been playing in the 10.
Yeah, that's the crazy.
I remember a lot of people were saying, "Oh, that's his true position. That's where he should play." Because what I wanted to ask you guys as well, when he was at Brighton, was he in a pivot with Caicedo?
Well, yeah, it weren't kind of a pivot how we would play it, though, was it? He would run off Caicedo. But then Caicedo covered so much ground behind him, you know what I mean? He had a bit more license.
But it's so weird because when we talk about Maka this season,
at Liverpool.
100%, Joe. Yeah.
That's the when you talk about Adam Wharton, that's my main issue, right? It's because as a DM for Crystal Palace, you have a little bit more time in the ball. When you're at Liverpool, bro, you have zero time. You have no time at all.
And is Wharton good in the tight space? See Curtis Jones. Obviously, hasn't got the long passing or the range of passing. But Curtis Jones, when it comes to being persistent, you ain't gonna get the ball off him. With Wharton, it's a bit different, right?
Yeah, like Wharton's going to be that more direct, gets his head up, just plays the long ball through the line, in between the lines. Yeah, we haven't really got anyone like that in our midfield at the moment, and that's why Wirtz comes deep. That's what Slot's looking at. We could go and get just a DM, like Polina, right? Liverpool could have easily got Polina if you wanted to, but we'd be still stuck in the same position on the ball.
Yeah,
we would still need a passer in our team, which means then you got to go and get another midfielder. This is the issue. Slot obviously wants a DM, right? But he needs to be able to play. Otherwise, you're just still stuck with the same kind of like midfield that can't pass the ball and transition forward quick enough.
Let me ask you both a question. By him, or let's say Liverpool are looking to get a deep line playmaker in midfield in the summer, is that Slot almost saying I made a mistake by not getting a Zubimendi replacement? Like, someone who can do what he does?
He probably saw how well it went last season and then thought he didn't need to change it.
But it's also like last season we were talking about Maka, right? And this is one of the big things. Maka was all about two-touch play, minimum, like touch, pass. Like take a touch, spray it, take a touch, take a shot. Like that was his game. That's what we talked about. That's why we gave him so much credit last season. Why he's one of the best midfielders in the league, because the thing that he does is either he does two-touch passing or he drives with the ball. That was literally it. He's doing neither now. That's the big issue. But I want to say it's a mistake because I don't think anyone expected Maka to have a drop-off like this. No one, not even the biggest Maka hater would have expected a drop-off like this because this guy's now doing stuff that we never seen him do in a Liverpool shirt, period. Right? Holding on to the ball. Like Maka maybe a couple of times in a couple of games he was holding on to the ball, but like we were talked about his he knows what he's doing before he even does it. That's the crazy thing, and he's not even doing that. But that's the thing, right? I wouldn't call it a mistake. I think just certain players have not stepped up to the mark this season.
Okay.
And has it been the manager's fault that certain players haven't played? Of course it is. Like the guy picks the team sheets. I still say Curtis Jones's worst performance this season was in Turkey against Galatasaray, and now and even then he wasn't even that bad. I think he was still pretty good. He's like still one of our best players. So it says a lot. It says a lot.
Curtis Jones right now is undroppable, guys, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he has to play every week.
Yeah.
No, you're right, man. He has to play every week. He has to play every week. Look, obviously Curtis Jones is very Marmite in our fan base, ain't he? I'm not quite sure why.
I know.
You know what I love about him? This is what I absolutely love about him. I wish a lot of footballers were like this. I love his arrogance. I absolutely love his arrogance. See that interview? He sort of laughed it off. I know he meant it when he said, "Yeah, we're starting to play well because I play every week now." Right?
Yeah,
and he laughed it off as a joke. I know he meant it. 100% meant it. He just
100%. Of course, this is Curtis Scouse.
You know what? I like it, Matt. I don't know about
from
you.
the ends. Yeah,
I like a bit of it. I like a bit of arrogance.
No, same. I think some of the best footballers in the world that's ever played the game. You have to have some arrogance in your game, in my opinion.
Can I just say, Pep Linders always said that he thought Curtis Jones, Jude Bellingham, and Declan Rice was England's best midfield three.
Who's this?
He always said, Pep Linders. He always said it.
Oh,
he said Curtis Jones, Bellingham, and Declan Rice are England's best midfield three from like a not an advanced role like a Palmer or anything like that, but as a central midfield role. You might be right. You know.
Do you think why people
might be James still?
Why do you think the Marmite claims are because? When we first heard about him, he was very in the under-21s, even in the youth academy. Like he was a 10, like he was an out-and-out 10, could play on the wings at times, and he was shall we say, a GA merchant, so to speak. He always get a goal. He was very technically gifted, and then all of a sudden we started seeing him play as more of an 8, where he was holding onto the ball. He wasn't really showing those same glimpses that we saw in the academy. He wasn't showing like moments of magic that we saw even after the Everton game. Do you think it's because people still see him as the guy that did what he did in the academy and was meant to be like a special prospect as a number 10?
Could be.
Yeah. Go on.
I mean, he made his debut for Liverpool at left wing, I think, against Everton in the FA Cup, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
You know, I think the thing with Curtis Jones is because he's been arrogant since day one, and he thinks his shits don't stink, and he holds on to the ball quite a lot. I think that frustrated a lot of Liverpool fans. They couldn't understand why he played. You know, there's this geezer on Twitter. I don't know, you know it. He disses Curtis Jones all the time, right?
I don't think I've seen the guy.
Yeah, he goes
at
Curtis Jones all the time, right? No matter what he does.
Okay.
And I think there's always going to be that thing with Curtis, but Curtis is surviving at Liverpool all the time, and he's out staying a lot of midfielders that come to this football club for a reason. It's a reason Jurgen Klopp played him, you know, and started putting him into the side. It's a reason Arne Slot's now putting him into the side. You know, do you remember the couple of games he played for England and I think he was man of the match or something? And he looked fantastic.
This is what I'm saying. And
technically, we all ask for technical footballers sometimes.
Speak on it.
We got one in our own midst who's homegrown, who's a scouse.
Yeah, he's a scouse.
Actually, a technical midfielder. Yeah, I just think he's got to play every week.
Shall I be honest? And I've said this about our fan base before. Don't get me wrong, we don't all do it, but I do think at times we don't
appreciate.
Appreciate a play. Because you see, I'll give you an example. Let's say Curtis Jones played for a rival. Do you know how much the rivals would lord over that player? Like knowing, and we'll sit there and go, do you know what? He is cold. But I feel like as a fan base, at times, we almost like we can be a bit marmite with some of our players. And it's like, no, man, like I get it. No player's perfect. But Curtis Jones, especially this season, and even a bits of last season has shown that he's a quality footballer. Because you see like Elliot Anderson, look at the praise that he gets. Do you see what I'm saying? That should really be Curtis Jones, you know. Really and truly.
Can I be real? I'm not a massive fan of Elliot Anderson. I think when I hear the Michael Carrick games, I'm like, bro, let's ease on the Michael Carrick stuff. Like,
yeah.
I think he's a good player.
He's a good player.
I think he's one of those players that he will make everyone else look amazing because he does the simple stuff. He keeps it ticking, all that kind of stuff. But if you're talking about pound for pound, who's the better player, who's the more technical player, I think Jones is the better footballer. Like if you talk about skills, technical ability, press resistance, I think Jones is the better player. But I get it. I have to give credit where it's due. Elliot Anderson has been amazing for Forest.
Done a very, very good season. That's no shame on him, by the way.
Been very good for England. But I think that's where I feel like Liverpool fans are we don't realise what a great player is until
he plays for somebody else, bro.
Newcastle United.
I'll say this year, the fan base will be in disarray, or the majority. I feel like if Curtis Jones was like ever sold in the next 2 years to make way for someone else, because he's a local lad, he understands the club, and not only that, more importantly, before any of that, because I don't want to do the whole just because he's from Liverpool, he should be a Liverpool player. No, Curtis Jones is actually a cold footballer. He is a very, very good technical midfielder, something that we've been asking for a lot over the years for Liverpool to have more technical midfielders in the team. And we finally get one. And don't get me wrong, when he was young, maybe a little bit too arrogant and holding on to the ball hogging thing, it used to frustrate me the most. I used to say Curtis Jones is his own worst enemy.
That's what everyone got wound up with.
Yeah, I said he has all the ability. All he has to do is just mature as a player. And now he's maturing to the point where even the seniors are saying, "Oh, just give Jones the ball, Let Jones progress." I've seen Jones go to left back and pick up the ball and say, you ain't progressing the ball. Give it to me. I'll sort it out. Like even Virgil giving it to Curtis. That just shows the status that's growing in Curtis Jones.
Look, and people still saying in the chat he holds onto the ball too much. I don't think he does. Also, there's nothing wrong with holding onto the ball for keeping possession. By the way,
if there's no options, though, Jay?
If you're 1-0
up, runs.
Right? Our problem is about we give the ball away in transition too much, right? And people counter on us far too easily, right? And that's where we give a lot of our goals away, right? You've got someone like Curtis who's keeping hold of the ball, then you can't get transitioned on, can you? You know what I mean? So it actually can help and be a hindrance at the same time. I get it. I used to think McAllister was our most technical midfielder.
So did I in the first when we yes, kind of so did I.
I actually, it might be Verts. It might be actually. You could put Verts in there as obviously, but he's more an advanced, attacking.
Yeah, if we're just talking centre mid,
we're just talking 6s and 8s.
Centre
I'd probably say Curtis Jones might be our most technical midfielder right now.
It's him and
Curtis Jones. Do you know what? Curtis Jones might have leapfrogged McAllister because Curtis can still run.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And McAllister, obviously, is a baller. I love McAllister. We all do. His main problem with McAllister right now, he can't run. He literally can't run. Awesome footballer, though. Great footballer. If McAllister can find his legs again next season, then we got a tremendous player again. It's as simple as that. But right now,
his legs are not there.
His legs are not there. So
how likely is it though? Just this is to both of you. How likely is it that midfielder looks like the legs are starting to go, and then the next season they get their legs back underneath them? And it's not like, see, if he had like a massive injury, we would understand. It would be like, he's trying to get his legs back underneath him, sort of thing. But this is kind of worrying because I remember McAllister in his first 2 seasons, he was a bit of a slow starter. Take him a couple of months to get up to speed, and then after that, he's fine. Broski, it is the 18th of December. We are going to be in 2026 in a couple of weeks, and McAllister still looks exactly the same.
Yeah,
that is a worry for me. Do you get what I'm saying?
I just sent over to you a stats comparison of Elliot Anderson and Curtis Jones to you, Matt. I don't know if you want to show the people.
Yeah, I can do that live. Live because you got that from Data MB, innit?
Yeah.
I'll do that now. Let me get the.
It's actually quite. People will be very, very surprised. Like,
all right. Let me get this ready for the people.
Obviously, he's played half the minutes that.
Yeah. So you got to take it. Yeah.
I feel like when McAllister's played a lot of football in 3 years, non-stop for club and country, and I don't care if you're 21, 27, 23. That's going to take its tolls on your legs eventually, playing that amount of football. McAllister must be playing 50 odd games a season for the last 3 years non-stop.
Well, I'd say 60.
Yeah,
he's playing a lot of games, though, isn't he? He's playing a lot. Yeah.
He's played a lot of football, and I love it when my kid just brings me a monster. You know what I mean? And if he's played that much football, I'm not surprised that his legs are a bit tired. But hopefully that comes back to him, because I'd love to keep McAllister. I'm not a McAllister hater or anything. I'd love to keep the guy.
So, all right, let's have a quick comparison. So, if we're looking at like Jules, the highest win rate obviously is Gravenberg with 86. Then Curtis at 80.
That's what I said. Curtis is good at defending.
Yeah. Then Elliot Anderson and McAllister at 55, bro.
Yeah, that's an issue.
But this is interesting though. So possession one, Elliot Anderson wins that by a mile, but you also have to understand the style of playing. What team is under more pressure? Nottingham Forest, or this is why you got to kind of.
Forest playing a deeper line to Liverpool, don't they?
Yeah, you're going to get more opportunities to nick the ball.
And their DMs are tasked and just winning the ball.
Yeah, and factually, Liverpool have the most possession in the Premier League this season so far, at 60.9, I think it is, or something like that. Yeah. So you got to bear that in mind. The next is obviously McAllister. Then it goes to Grav, then Curtis. Now progressive carries. Curtis Jones is leads that way. Then it's Grav.
He leads that way over Grav.
Yeah, 94. I think it's percentile rather than percent. So he's in the 94 percentile compared to 88. But even still better than Grav.
And look at the minutes he's played in comparison to Grav as well.
Yeah, I mean,
hang on, look at the minutes Curtis Jones has played. Curtis is a baller, man.
Yeah. But you could argue the other way around because he's played less minutes. So basically, the guys it's going to level out more so if you play more minutes. Yeah, I guess you could argue that. Do you know what I mean?
He's a baller, man.
Forward passes, Curtis Jones at 98.7.
Give me a sec, guys. Just give me a sec.
Yeah. And then Elliot Anderson at 91.7. Then Grav, then Macca's last again.
Wow.
Starting to see a theme here. I don't want to point it out, but now look at the forward pass percentile or percentage. Jones at 99.8. Is that a fake stat?
No, I mean we watch Curtis with our own eyes. To be fair,
I'm messing about, but I know this is real. Like, bro, this is crazy. And then second is Elliot Anderson again.
It's why Elliot Anderson's also a big wanted player for the summer.
Yeah, why he's been monitored,
because he can get the ball quick. He moves the ball quickly forward. This is what top coaches are looking for. They're looking for midfielders who can get their head up and progress the ball forward quickly to their attacking players. It's what they all want now. So Elliot Anderson in the summer will be very wanted because of that skill set.
Yeah. Do you know what I've realized so far? Gravenberch is like the most level one in terms of like it's always in the mix.
It's also the deepest.
Yeah, Curtis is normally one of the highest, especially when it comes to like passing. And Elliot Anderson, McAllister on the other hand, boy.
You see, also what I'm saying, Matt. You see McAllister's like the shape of McAllister's. I don't know if people could see it.
This?
Yeah, you look at Elliot Anderson's basically.
Elliot Anderson's in the blue.
Yeah, that is basic. And you look at McAllister, I think is yellow for you.
Yeah. And then look at Curtis Jones in the red as well. The only thing you say about Curtis Jones is the possession one is a little bit low. Other than that, look at Jones carrying 4 passes, percentage.
I saw a stat. I don't know if this stat's true, right? But apparently only is Pedri for Barcelona has got a higher forward passing stat rate than Curtis Jones in Europe.
I think I saw that. It might have been from
I swear I saw that stat somewhere.
Yeah, there is something going along them lines.
That's going around that only Pedri's passes the ball.
Oh yeah, and let me add Wharton. Just to the mix. I know people are because we are linked to Wharton after all. We are talking about him. All right, so just to quickly see where he at. So Wharton, in terms of Jules, he's in the mix. Possession one, he's actually kind of low. But Curtis Jones is the lowest. Progressive carries, Wharton's actually kind of low at 32.8, but I guess that'll be his passing more than his
his passing's got to be more risky than everyone else's, though. Ain't it?
Yeah. Forward passes, as you see, Curtis Jones, Wharton's kind of like he's actually at the bottom.
But he plays in a 3-5-2. So
He does. I was going to say
to
system. Yeah, full pass percentage. This is quite low, if I'm being honest, lower than what I expected. But again, Jamie's obviously made it clear that you have to understand the systems that have been played as well. Key passes. So you like key passes,
and that's the main
Wharton,
one. That's
he's on an island on his own at 89.3. No one even comes close to that. Not even no one.
That's a player who can get his head up and bang.
Yeah.
That's what Liverpool want.
Even progressive passes. This is where you got the real pass masters. You got Jones, Elliott, and Wharton, and then obviously Gravenberch is at the lowest, and McAllister. See when it comes to the passing and key passing, this is where
McAllister should be top of all this, by the way.
Yeah, Grav and McAllister are falling a little bit short, in my opinion.
And that's what
I was going to say, Matt. You look at McAllister and you look at Elliot Anderson's like the shape of that.
You know what? We're gonna do that right now. You want Weefer? Yeah,
I think Weefer's played well apparently this season.
He's been playing it right. I think
it's Wieffer, is it? Say no.
Is he not there?
He's not even that good that he hasn't even got his own thing.
Oh no, you know why they've classed him as a right back member? If I'm not mistaken, this season that could be why.
What about can you add Stiller into it, Matt?
Going in. Stiller.
I like Stiller. Stiller's perfect.
All right, so with Stiller, as we already know, actually, do you know what? Jules is actually better than what I thought. Better than McAllister, which is kind of surprising.
Well, if you can walk, I'm better than McAllister at the moment.
No, it's true. Possession 1, Stiller's kind of like low. In fact, I think he's the second to last lowest, but again, you got to understand the type of player that he is. Progressive carries, kind of like in the middle with the 64.5. Now, forward passes, only Curtis Jones betters that. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? At 97.7. Percentage-wise, 85.4. Curtis Jones with some ridiculous fake 99.8 stat.
I'll never see Curtis Jones pass backwards.
Do you know what? He doesn't. He just...
But remember, he has also played as a right back to the season.
Yeah.
So his numbers can be a bit inflated. I hear that.
Little bit. Just a little bit.
I think twice. I don't think it should be.
Yeah. Key passes. Stiller is right next to Wharton. They are exactly the same.
Stiller reminds me of McAllister.
See, I'll say Stiller's more of a deep line playmaker than McAllister. Do you know what it is, Jay? This is going to sound weird.
McAllister's the issue here.
All right, I'm not saying that.
You said this a couple of years ago. It's crazy, isn't it?
McAllister's still one of my favorite Liverpool players. What it is, though,
yeah, we love him.
If I'm being genuinely honest, I'm not too sure in this system what type of play he's supposed to be. Does that make sense?
I don't know
in this system
plays right now. Like,
I don't know what he's supposed to be.
I said it over a year ago when people were talking about McAllister in a 10. I said he can't play there because he can't play with his back to goal.
You did say that, to be fair.
Yeah. And in this midfield at the moment, he's not got the legs. He hasn't got the legs. So if you haven't got when you watch McAllister play, watch how many midfielders just run off him.
Yeah, bro, all the time, bro.
All the time. And he can't. That's McAllister's main issue right now. It's not his technical ability. It's his mobility. It's his mobility. That's the issue. Nothing about him being a footballer. It's just his mobility. And if his mobility is not there, then the club are worried about it. They got to look at it and go, maybe we need someone who's got more mobility than McAllister right now, similar technical ability. And there's quite a few midfielders out there, to be fair, like that. To be fair, Jay, before we move on to the next topic, just what you just said there, I agree with you. The problem is I wouldn't put Stiller in that mode. If you want someone a bit, because I don't think Stiller's the most athletic at all. I think
he's not athletic.
I think he's a Spanish type midfielder. Like,
but you basically need usually
he's like a Mulby. He stands and passes, don't he?
Mulby.
That's what he does. I don't think Stiller. I think we'd still have the same problem a year later. We're talking about Stiller like we're talking about McAllister now.
That's true. Yeah, that's the only issue, because next to him he has Carrotsall, who's basically his he's basically the bully. He does the bullying for him when it's next to him. Like he enforces and lets him play his football on the ball. However, he's also one of those players that prefers to play in between the centre backs and just like spray the ball left, right, and centre. He's one of those players that loves to do that. I don't know if I have a feeling Arne Slot wants his midfielder to do that a little bit more often.
That's why Szoboszlai. Look at Szoboszlai, man. If McAllister had Szoboszlai's physical attributes, he'd be the best in the world.
Oh yeah, bro. Bro, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
By the way, Szoboszlai. I'm now convinced that Szoboszlai is some kind of Terminator. The man twisted his ankle and then ran it off.
Bro,
yeah, bro, he's in the race to be fit for Saturday, you know.
Yeah, he should be. I think he'd be.
Yeah, they're confident. They're saying they're quietly confident that he will be able
However,
to make the strategy.
The sweating went down as he was playing. You know, he's not real.
However, though, I don't know whether we're gonna run into the ground though. That's my main worry. I don't want to.
Yeah, I know what you mean when you rely on someone's physical attitude. Like, look at Henderson, for example.
You know, when you're a manager,
different style of football, though. I will say that, but he does do too much running, in my opinion.
But look at Stevie. Look up with Stevie.
When you're a manager,
yeah,
and you got to play like Szoboszlai, you're stuck in a position where you can't actually afford to drop him, but you know you might have to rest him because of his energy levels.
Yeah,
you're stuck in that weird position where I can't drop the guy, but I could run him into the ground at the same time. So you're sort of stuck with it.
Luke has a point. Stop playing World Cup this season in 2026.
Yeah, Slot's going to be looking. You're going for a fucking 6-week summer. You can play all season.
Yeah, you got a lot of play. You can run it off, mate. You can run it off. You know what I mean? If you're at Supers, sorry. Go on.
I don't know about you guys, but for me at the moment, our midfield three should be Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and Jones. That's
how fully agree. Fully agree. Right, we're at Supers, then we'll move on to the next two topics. Big up Haru. He says, lads, isn't it crazy how much there is talk, rumors linked to new players, especially considering we won the league last year? I can't get used to this. To be fair, though, I will say this. The shopping we done was needed. And imagine this, what I'm about to say. That shopping was actually overdue. We still needed players even after that window. So, do you get what I'm saying? Like
we was in layaway, weren't we? That's where we were.
Bro.
Also, we got rid of a lot of players.
Buy now, pay later.
Klarna. Big up again. He says the new Slot Hughes Edwards management axis seem hell bent on getting rid of all the Klopp players. Seems like they don't want any trace of the man. Any trace of the man at the club. Nah, I disagree with that, you know, bro.
Szoboszlai says otherwise.
Yeah.
I think what we've got to remember, some of Klopp's players that are there now are old.
Yeah, they're just getting on a bit now, bro. Yeah, age.
They're just old.
You
know what I mean?
Ali's coming to the end of his contract, and I doubt he gets another one. Virgil will be leaving after his contract. Salah
is that a bad thing, Jay? Is that a worry?
Sorry, guys. Let me quickly read it.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's right, bro. That's cool, bro. He said I couldn't get behind the Slot Hughes Edwards vision if I knew what it looked like on the pitch, but so far there's been no positive vision of it.
I hear
big up Aquia, big up Matt, big up Jay, and big up Ram. He's just become a member, Haru, as well. Big up your damn self. And last but not least, Aquia again. Maka is 26, no injuries, and his legs are gone. Why isn't Slot seeing his lack of pace in training and keeps putting him on the pitch? Got to be more to it. It just can't be just he's finished suddenly.
I think Slot looks him as his brains of his midfield, and that's why he plays there.
Yeah. But his IQ is one of the best aspects of his game.
His intelligence, and I think that's why McAllister plays. But I think Slot has seen in recent weeks his physical capabilities at the moment are not helping.
Yeah. Well, this is a great segue. We're going to quickly speak about a defender who does have very good physical attributes, and that is Ibrahim Konate. Lewis still did come out and say,
"Favorite player."
Yeah.
Who's favorite player? Oh, Matt.
It's him and Ekatike. But like, I'll say this year. I'll say this year. Konate, Lewis still did say that they've been in talks now for 18 months, but it still seems to be like a big valuation difference in terms of what Konate's actually seeking and what the club is willing to offer. Apparently, Konate wants to be rewarded as one of the top players in the club. Guys, What's your thoughts on this? First of all, is Konate right to ask for that, or should he just allow it?
Right.
Mm.
Every
What's
player's
your
right for asking for. Every player's right for asking for money.
Yeah.
I got no problem with Konate asking for what he feels he's worth. Is he worth that contract? That's what the club don't know at this moment in time. Because I believe if the club thought he was worth that deal, his deal would have been done by now. So the club don't think he's worth that deal. So what is he asking for? He must be asking between 250 and 300 a week.
That's what I'm thinking,
To be with club top earners, because Ekatike and Isaac and Verts, they're all in at 200 mark.
200, between 200 and 250.
Yeah, so he's going to be asking between, let's do a ballpark figure out here, 200 to 300 grand. That's what he's probably asking in between, right? So to me, is he worth 200 grand a week? Yes. As much as he winds me up and I get my frustrations with Konate. Yeah, I look at defenders around Europe at the moment. I'm like, is he much better? Am I going to buy him and then put him on 200 grand a week when I can have Konate for 200 grand a week? So in my mind, I'd rather just give Konate 200 grand a week. Is Konate worth 250 to 275 a week at the moment? I've always said this about Konate. When Konate is on form and on fire, he looks out of this world. Yeah, I don't think Konate has any middle ground. When he's terrible, he is terrible. You said when he's great, he's amazing. He's not got that middle ground, does he? Where he can just average a game out, if that makes sense.
He has both outliers.
Yeah,
he covers both outliers.
Bro, listen,
that's why the club probably don't feel like he's worth 250 a week. Otherwise, they would have gave it to him by now because they do their data. They know the defenders out there. They're probably looking at a defender out there who probably has the same kind of skill set as Konate does. And they can think, well, like, he will accept 150 a week for 4 years. The club will go for that and move Konate on. There's no doubt about that. So it's not a concern for us right now because we value Konate as a player, but it's the club. Do the club value him like the fans and maybe Konate himself does? That's the issue.
That's the thing. Like people forget. Also, the club has other people on the salary books, and they'll probably use that and work off that to see.
Well, look at let me ask you this, Ram. Funny you say that. Should Konate be on the same money as Gakpo, or do you think Gakpo should be on more?
No,
Gakpo. No, Konate. I'd have Konate all the money over Gakpo.
But that's not me trying to make Gakpo a scapegoat. It's just that.
No, I'm with you.
Matt. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Apparently, this is verified as well.
Yeah, on Kopology.
Yes,
70K. Kopology. I know.
Go look at Gakpo's wage on Kopology.
Go look at Gakpo's and get back to us.
I know.
300.
What's Gakpo on?
It's not verified. It's not verified though.
No. Is it not verified?
No.
So when you look about on Gakpo's wage, it's a bit weird. So a lot of websites have Gakpo's wage down as 200 grand a week, and a lot of other websites have it down as 250.
Yeah, he's on 150k a week.
Yeah, bro. Chiesa walked in on peas, bro.
Yeah, Chiesa walked in on what he was earning in Italy.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. I thought he was.
You know, Grav, Soberslide, them man. You know, they all walked in at like 140 as well.
Grav took a pay cut.
Did he?
Yeah.
But from the Netherlands.
No, from Bayern Munich.
Oh, Grav. Sorry.
Yeah, do you know what? I forgot about the Bayern Munich. You know,
Grav isn't verified. But
you see, big up Roti. Yeah, he says Gakpo's attacker tax get paid more. On the general premise, I agree with you. But you see, when you've got outliers, like for example, like Virgil and things like that. As good as Gakpo is, and this is not me disrespecting Gakpo because I feel like Gakpo is still good enough to be a squad player. I just don't think right now he's a starting left winger or whatever.
Oh, yeah, Matt. Remember, you know, we looked really good against Brighton, and who weren't playing in that game? Who weren't playing?
I think Salah was playing, wasn't he?
Apparently, all Salah thought that.
But we're gonna get onto Salah in a minute because we're gonna speak about Salah in the last segment. But yeah, like, bro. Gakpo's on about let's say Gakpo's on about 200. Let's just say roughly 200. I think Konate is well within his right to ask for that same type of money, in my opinion, anyway.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Because you got to look at the market. I know we're trying to we're looking at Guehi, maybe even a Bastoni, whatever. There's not many defenders that we can really sit here and just unanimously just say he's better than Konate. So if Konate leaves, I know we are good. There'll be question marks over Bastoni about how he would acclimatise to the Prem. There'll be question marks over Slotterbeck about the injury. Will he ever get back to his best? I see a couple of people, I think, in the morning show talking about, his pace doesn't look the same, but maybe he could get back there. Guehi, again, is a very, very good defender, but Guehi hasn't played at the same level. So there's a lot of question marks. There's nothing to suggest. And I'm seeing Upamecano now get linked with us. And I'm like,
hell no. No, man. No, I'm good.
There's
man.
not one centre back.
If we get France, Upamecano, I'm not.
Can you imagine we get rid of Konate for Upamecano?
Oh my, bro!
Just give me no. I tell you this, yeah. I'm not fully backing Upamecano, yeah. But Upamecano for France, I swear he's a different player. He is a different player.
I don't ever talk about that Jeremy Jacquet. Is it Jacquet?
Yeah, I've seen him play a few times. He's a talent. He's a talent. Good player. There's no doubt about it.
Big Makuma says Guehi's not good, you know. He reckons Upamecano. I know it sounds crazy because I know Ram,
I love Guehi.
You watch a lot of Bundesliga. Even I have to sit there and go, Upamecano is not no world-class defender. But you see, in his younger years when he was known for making errors, is he still like that now, in your opinion?
I wouldn't. No. The reason is right. He kind of has that. He kind of has it. Like when you see him play, you're like, this guy's gonna do something mad. He's gonna do something mad.
I swear, he's still like that. He's still a bit crazy.
Even when everything's so calm and comfortable, he still looks like he's gonna do something mad. That's why I say he looks like a completely different player when he plays for France. He does. He looks so composed when he's at France. He looks so different.
Oh, he does.
He
does.
I'm like,
Liverpool have the best centre back in Europe. People just don't know it yet. That's all.
Who's talking about Leone? He's talking about Leone. Yeah. I'm not joking about Leone. Big ups.
Giovanni Leone. If he can get if he's ACL, because he's got it so young, I think he'll fly through it. Right when he comes back. If he comes back and still has that potential. For me, he's going to be the best defender in Europe in a few years' time.
Jay saw the Arrigo Sacchi quotes and Maldini.
I watched him the year before in Italy. I fell in love with the guy. He's different.
Look, big up. Komi, he says, I'm a Bundesliga kid. Upa is the most consistent defender in the Bundesliga, and he's very, very good. He only has 2 or 3 Bozo moments per season, unfortunately, in the UEFA Champions League games when the world is watching.
Yeah,
you watch a lot of Bundesliga, Ram. That's what I'm saying. Like, so is that narrative kind of? It's hot. It's a hot. Do you know why it's a hard one to shift?
Can you get away?
Even though it can be done.
You can
look at Gabriel, bro.
Yeah,
look at Gabriel.
That's true. Gabriel's a perfect example. Gabriel's a very good example.
You know what I'm saying?
How many times we called him a bozo? Remember the COVID season? We called him a bozo.
Yeah, people used to say Gabriel's a bozo. That was the narrative.
Liverpool being very spoiled because of Virgil van Dijk, who's just
head
and shoulders above everyone as a centre back. Not no more because he's getting older, but he was head and shoulders above everything that was a defender in the opening in the game, right?
The guy's just a legend, man.
You know, I've watched Virgil in a season have a different partner almost every week, and his performances are still that high. Do you know how ridiculous that is for a centre back to do? They rely on the centre back partner. I think Ibu is a good defender. I've always said it. I don't think Ibu's world class, but that don't mean he's a shit footballer at the same time. You know, I think people get that. People get that really wrong. I think Konate is a quality centre back. Yeah, he's just not at a world class level for me, right?
Yeah,
but I'd rather pay him 200 odd grand a week than get some of the other options in Europe right now. Like with Slotterbeck, I think Slotterbeck is equally just as a good defender as Ibu Konate is, and he's better on the ball.
Yeah,
but his ACL injuries now are a bit of a worry, and if he's not going to have that mobility anymore, I'd rather keep Ibu Konate.
Yeah, I don't
want Bastoni. People think I'm mental, but I watch Bastoni a lot.
You watch a lot of Italian football, Jay, so I actually trust. I'm trusting.
I don't think Bastoni's this. I think he's a very, very good defender. I just don't think he's what everyone thinks he maybe is.
Pace of the league could maybe catch him out or take a lot of adaptation, and you don't know how long that people would be willing to wait.
I feel like you just give Konate the contract, but then the club can't be bowing down to what a player demands either. So the club have got to be the strongest here. You know, otherwise players just walk over him in contract renewals. So, and also you probably feel like, you know, if the club give him a big deal now, he might never get another contract again at Liverpool because Liverpool can't go up again in the next contract because he'd be much older. So how much valuation do Liverpool lose on Konate? So that's what all happens in these deals. So I'd rather look, I'm going to say it now. I'd rather keep Ibu than buy another centre back, and I'm not Ibu's biggest fan. So
Comey makes a great point.
Comey, yeah.
Vuskovic for Hamburg. He plays for.
He mentioned it yesterday in when I done the morning show. He's at Hamburg. He's gonna. But have Spurs got him though?
That's Tottenham's boy, bro. He looks a good player.
Yeah,
really. He said it yesterday. Big him up still.
He's better than Van der Shit. Let's put it that way.
We got to be careful because we played him on Saturday.
I got he leaves space in behind the worst score.
You know what? Those Spurs centre backs. I know we're kind of going off topic here, but I've never really thought. Like, I just think that they're decent centre backs, innit? I've always said that. Like, I think they're both off rate, but now they're probably both flipping score a brace. But my whole thing is that in the defender market, it's not as easy as I think what people are making out. And I understand maybe I'm trying to be as non-biased as possible, guys. Konate is far from the perfect defender. I know this, and he can make errors. He's made a ton of errors this season, 100%. But I just want people to kind of remember the season that he had last year and even like the year before. I know he does pick up injuries, but when Konate is on form, he's for me one of the best centre backs in Europe, and I think that will be hard to replace. Knowing that he's experienced in the Champions League final. Virgil's going to be leaving the club soon. One thing I feel like as well that we've got to think about as a club is you're going to have Gomez that's going to be leaving due to injuries. Let's just say, for example, Ibu does leave and they can't agree the contract. Virgil's probably only got one more year. That's a lot of change at centre back in one season. Like and I don't want to go into next season again we've got to now, Virgil's got to get his partnership right. If that doesn't work, we've got to rely on the other guy. We've still got Leone coming back from a bad injury. Like, it's a lot to fix, guys.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
We arguably need a centre back in January, a centre back in the summer.
Yeah.
That's what we probably need. Because Virgil is going to need replacing, ain't he? And
he is at some point, yeah, bro.
I do think I honestly do believe if Giovanni Leone didn't get injured, he'd be centre back partner now with Virgil.
I think there's an argument that he could have been that kind of breakthrough.
Because he can pass as well, he can play with the ball, and he's quick, and he's
quick, and he's strong, can read the game very well. Bro, remember the first game he played? Bro. Obviously, he got the injury, but he looked more assured than Gomez in that one game.
No, Leone is. I mean, the year before when I watched him, he was just like, who is this beast?
Yeah, because I remember you spoke about. In fact, you know what you said to me? Do you know what it is? I'm not even trying to do the cap thing here. It might have been the game against Lukaku where he's like, Matt, there's this centre back in Serie A, I want to say.
Yeah, because I was doing the watch-ons on Big Up.
Yeah, he's doing the watch-ons, and I'm almost certain Jay mentioned it, so fair play.
Also, guess where, we were linked to someone from Bournemouth. Your girl also came from the Serie A. It was Hoyson. Hoyson was doing the same stuff that Leone was doing. And then what happened to Hoyson?
I think Leone has miles more potential than Hoyson as well.
I think Hoyson's a better part. You see Hoyson on the ball as a better footballer.
Yeah, he
plays for Spain. He plays for Spain.
By the way, that's why I think Real Madrid want Mark Gay. It's not because he's the best defender in the world. It's what he can do on the ball.
That's if Alonso's still there.
Rudiger's reverted back to what he was at Chelsea, which was
it's not even that. It's injuries, bro. After he had some knee surgery,
bro. Something's changed, bro. Something's changed.
Bro, I promise you. Bissek is another one. Age and injuries have caught with Rudiger, bro. Because I promise you, I said it when he was at Chelsea. I said Rudiger's a good defender. I said when he goes on Madrid, he's gonna go mad. And lo and behold, obviously the last 2 seasons for Rudiger, you can tell age has caught up with him, and that knee injury that he's had finished him, bro. He's finished now. But listen, guys, before we go, last thing we're gonna talk about is Salah's future.
Ooh.
Mo, we're about to find out. Lewis still said, in fact, let me see if I can find the comment that where is
I wish they just dropped this now.
All right, do you know what? I know, but Lewis still kind of big him up though, because he's just been honest, isn't it? He's just doing his honest report.
No, I like Lewis still.
Same. I'm gonna read the article quickly. I'll quickly put it on the screen for you guys. And can you guys see that, or do I need to zoom in a bit more?
I can see it with big glasses. So I'm good.
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool. So you go. This is Lewis still regarding Mo Salah. The rift is certainly not over, as far as I'm aware. It certainly has been eased in the last week, in the last 5 days. But I wouldn't be surprised if at all Salah and Liverpool shook hands on maybe a summer exit. Personally, I don't see the winter exit will happen at all. He'll come back from AFCON, but we will see. I think he'll have a good second half of the season if he stays fit and finds his shooting bits again. As for his long-term future, Liverpool obviously want him to stay around. Let's see how long that lasts, because Salah's still, man's put Salah's.
Salad.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
No, Lewis still, you're going mad. I need to speak to you, Lewis still. I need to speak to you. Salah's still agitated. Salad is crazy.
Yeah.
Salah's still agitated and frustrated at the situation. I got the impression from conversations that this is a deeper issue than just being benched. I think maybe Salah wasn't overly convinced by the summer business. Not that he's jealous, because that's not really in Salah's character. But there was always a bit of frustration, maybe agitated. But I think he and Slot are happy to put the best interest of the team first.
Go back to the award ceremony at the beginning of the season when they asked him about the transfer business. Arsenal favourites of the league.
Favourites, Mo? Yeah, Arsenal, bro.
Yeah. There's another thing saying he was annoyed that Isak came to Liverpool, and because, and I've been saying this for over a year now, that Salah and Isak wouldn't work.
Do you think it's the ego thing in terms of knowing?
Because Salah has to become Salah. The reason I don't think he's completely happy with Isak, it's not because Isak's not a quality footballer, it's because he has to turn provider for Isak.
Yeah,
because that's what Isak relies on. You can't play Salah, Isak, and Gakpo as a front three. That is the most selfish front three in world football. None of them will go past to each other. None of them will go past to each other.
It kind of is. I can make it more selfish. Put Alan St. Max in the number 10 spot.
It's not the fact that he hates Isak and he doesn't rate Isak as a footballer. I think Salah still believes he's number one guy. And when you buy Isak and Wirtz, you're still number one guy, but you're not going to be the guy anymore because
it's guaranteed, you know.
Yeah, because you've got to get the best out of Isak and Wirtz. And
this is so true, by the way. Look at this. Remember, Nunes would have an open goal. Bro, there's times when Nunes is literally, he's got a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He sees Mo, he'll just lay it off to Mo.
That's why Mo said he
just pass it to Mo.
Yeah.
But so then, let me ask you guys this then. We understand Mo having an ego. That's part of his makeup. That's part of him. That's part of him being great. Yeah. But do the others also have to understand that, like, there's an adaptation? So Isak, Wirtz, I don't know, Ekatike. Do you think Salah's, this is going to sound weird, what I'm about to say. Do you think Salah's losing a bit of respect? The fact that Gakpo just doesn't even really, Gakpo just shoots on sight every time.
Yeah,
I think Gakpo does.
Not even looking for something. Man just shoot, cutting.
Who does Cody pass to? Like, seriously.
Cutting Cody.
Who does Cody actually, guys? Salah looks at people. Right, Salah wants to score goals.
Salah tries to assist people as well, though.
He does try and find people and assist people. Who does Cody pass to?
Nobody.
To himself.
I can see he's cutting Cody, fam.
I think Salah's pissed off this season because he's seen Isak come in and he's going to have to turn more provider than goal scorer because he knows to get the best out of that player, you got to be more of a provider for him. Yeah, but then he's been shit since he's been here. Cody's been shit. And then Salah's probably like, no, this ain't me, people. This ain't, you know. But I'm not getting into that convo again because we've all talked about it. But I think you know, Salah's ego's been bruised. And when your ego's been bruised, you say some wild things. It's just
100.
It's just the way it is. But no, I think Salah goes in the summer. I think this is his last season. I think he gets I think towards the end of the season, where it'll be reported that Mo's leaving and he'll get his big send-off at the end of the year, no matter what Liverpool do. And he will move on and Liverpool will move on without Mo. And, you know, it's the right thing to do. I don't really want a 30...
bro.
I don't want a 34 or 35... I don't really want a 34, 35-year-old Mo Salah around the football club if he's not happy not playing. And
I understand that.
we need to move on and get the right players. Like Wirtz and Isak and Ekatike are our future. They're our present and our future. Salah at the moment is our present. So we got to move on to get the best out of our future. And as much as I love Mo, and he's my favourite ever Liverpool player in the Premier League era, even above Stevie. I love the guy. But, you know, everyone moves on eventually, man. And let's hope he can end the season well. Look, because he's been not playing for the last few weeks, he actually might come from AFCON more rested than usual.
100.
He might actually have a quality second half of the season and fire us up. So, look, let's give him a good send-off because he's a legend, man, and he deserves it.
Bro, should I tell you something quickly about Mo Salah? Yeah, I tried to get the picture, but my WhatsApp's frozen. But basically, the last two players to both score and assist in 10 matches in a single season in Europe's top 5 leagues, Lionel Messi done it in the 14-15 season, and Mohamed Salah done it last year. They're only two players, bro, in the last two players to score and assist in a single season in 10 matches in a single season, which is crazy. Mo's
ability to try and keep scoring, assisting,
it's insane, bro.
Doesn't get spoke about enough. We just get told that he's a selfish footballer.
Yeah,
the ability to do that every year, it is crazy. It's hard to do.
Yeah,
you know, he did that at 32 after not having it. Look, let's face it, he never really had a shit year at Liverpool.
No.
You know what I mean? And
he's never had a
apart from this year, you know, he's never had a crap year at Liverpool, and he did that at 32. And you're like, his ability to keep doing that, to try and keep scoring and try and keep assisting, creating goals and scoring goals.
Yeah, bro. Look at this. Can you you can't really...
it don't get spoke about enough because he doesn't twist people up on the wing and go around 4 people to score a goal, or. You know people talk about Lamine Yamal with his Travella passes,
yeah.
No one was doing that. No one talks about it, man.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I know. Because I know where that is though. But
however, though, at some point you have to realize that sometimes you have to make way for your apprentice, innit? Because you can't be the main guy for forever. You know what I mean?
But what if the apprentice is stinky and he's always injured? When I say stinky, I don't mean stinky in general. I just mean like he's been stinky.
Well, he's not the real apprentice.
He's talking about
he's not the real apprentice, is he? He's not the real apprentice, you know.
And I ain't talking about Ekatike.
Ekatike is the real apprentice, man.
Ekatike
I was talking about Flo.
No, see, I think they brought... All right, so this is going to sound mad. Isak is there, in my opinion, not even mad, but Isak is there to replace Salah's goals. Yeah?
Yeah, that's what he's bought for. Yeah.
So the majority of the goals. The creativity, obviously, will be from Wirtz, the creativity, because you're not going to find a player that can do what Mo does, statistically. You can get a better stylistically player, but stats-wise, even Elise, as great as he is, won't be able to get those same numbers Salah's got in his Liverpool career. It's almost impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible, sorry. It's just not probable. That's the wording that I should be using. It's not probable.
No,
so they've gone and done
creative wingers.
So they've gone to get Wirtz for the creativity and Isak for the goals. And so far, if we're being honest, even though Wirtz has looked way better than Isak,
Salah's still got more goals than Isak.
Yes, the stats wise, Salah's still got more assists than Wirtz and more goals than Isak.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
That's 260 mil, guys. Or whatever it is.
The thing is that we're going to have to talk about. I'm doing a video later before Big Up. So on my YouTube channel at 9:30, before I do Big Up at 10:30, I'm doing an Isak and Ekatike debate on it, and then I'll carry on Big Up after. But
make sure you do that, bro.
At this moment in time, I'm looking at him thinking, I don't know how the fuck you can ever drop Ekatike right now.
You can't.
You can't drop Ekatike.
He's the truth, bro.
He's got 10 goals in 15 games, I think, ain't he?
Yeah, something like
that. Or something
he's
like that.
Truth.
And even when he's not scoring goals, he's still good.
He
Yeah.
affects the play.
You know, he's still.
Ekitike doesn't have to score in it to have a great
Yeah,
game, if that makes
and
sense.
this is my thing with Isaac. Yeah, I understand. Isaac's going through, in my opinion, the same sort of thing that Jock Lesnar at Arsenal's going through.
Oh
right?
yeah.
They're going through the same sort of thing because they're strikers that desperately need to be provided.
Yeah, they need service. Yeah.
Like at Arsenal, their wingers don't really pass to him. Our wingers we don't really pass to because we've got selfish wingers. The thing with Isaac, though, I keep saying this as well. Isaac himself needs to do more in the game, though. Like he needs to drop deep like Ekitike does, pick up the ball, use his pace, use his technical ability that Isaac has got because we've seen it.
He can roam about. It isn't just.
I've seen it at Dortmund. I've seen it at Newcastle.
Yeah.
He can do it. I've seen it for Sweden. If he's not scoring, he can get hold of the ball and cause chaos. So he's got to do that as well. But Ekitike right now, he's just. Do you know what it is? Ekitike, he believes he's him.
Yes.
Ekitike just believes I'm the guy.
Because he is.
I'm this arrogant. I'm the guy.
Remember when Isak scored against Southampton and my man took his shot off and showed it to the crowd, being like, "Yo,
Ekitike is like, brother,
I'm the guy." Yeah,
bro. You see, I'm not changing my mind on this. Yeah, Isak is still the better player. He is. He's going through it. Whatever. He's having a bad time. I know Isak will be should be normal Isak. So I'm not worried about that. What I am worried about is that even though I believe Isak will still be fine and he'll be back to his world-class self, you can't hamper Ekitike right now because the progress that he's made at Liverpool in this short space of time is nothing short of sensational, bro. He's been a revelation. Out of all the signings that we've made, even the rivals say, I'm not going to lie, we should have got Ekitike,
that's when it's a good player when
and then they say things like, I didn't even know about Ekitike. I didn't even know it was this good. Do you get what I'm saying? Because the adaptation has been flawless, bro. Top striker, man.
He's a top player. Look, he's a striker, but he's a different kind of striker to Isaac, ain't he? He can drop deep. He can play almost that false nine position,
Yeah.
And you know what's mad? I always thought Wirtz would play better with Isaac, but Wirtz plays better with Ekitike.
No, but I think it's just good players plays with good players, bro.
They're technical.
No, Jordan, it is. I said this year about a month ago. The chat will tell you. I said about a month or two ago. I was like, if Florian Wirtz had a choice to play with Isak or Ekitike, he's gonna pick Ekitike. They have this kind of link-up play that like Isak doesn't really do. It's hard to explain. All right, even the goal for Ekitike's Palace goal in the cup, innit? I know obviously we lost, but that link-up play that they have, you can't teach that. They're just on the same wavelength.
It's the one.
Yeah, the little flicks back.
Kopish
is another one that can get involved in them kind of movements there. Not saying Isak can't do it, but they just have an understanding of where each other needs to be.
And the mad thing as well, Ekitike has missed a lot of chances this season. He could easily be on 15 goals.
And how about this, Jay? He's one of my favorite players, but I'm still not going to be biased because I think the one thing that he lacks is an actual clinical edge that I think he will learn over time.
Got that more. Yeah, Isak's got more.
You can tell from the way Ekitike shoots at times. It's a bit unorthodox. Like the one where he nutmegged the goalkeeper. No, not nutmegged the goalkeeper. He drove past the two players, and the way he shot, it was like an awkward shot. And I know he was running at full pace, but Isak doesn't strike the ball like that. So like, there's a few things that I think that can be refined in it. Do you know what I mean? Once he does that, oh my gosh,
Ekitike don't look like he's moving at 100 miles an hour, but no one can catch him.
He's rapid, in it.
It doesn't lolook rapid when you watch him, does it? Even when he's going 100 miles an hour.
Legs,
I'll give you an example.
So smooth. Like
Should I say who his running style reminds me of? Torres.
Yeah, that gliding run.
Yeah.
He runs like Torres, bro.
Torres was like, if Torres got in behind, no one caught him. You couldn't catch him. But he didn't look
because
like,
they're
like a Darmatore quick, did he?
They're light. What it is, Torres, Ekitike, they're light on their feet. So it's like you said, Jed, it's not like they don't look busy when they're running. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Eki
and Wirtz have that synchronology.
Yeah, they've got the synchronology, bro. 100% synchronizing synchronology, bro.
The other, like the Brighton game when you saw him back in, like there was a bit where Ekitike made that run, and he thought Wirtz was behind him, and he just back-tilled it in the box because he thought Wirtz was there. And obviously no one was there, and Brighton cleared the ball. But I know he gave it away, but I like that. I like that.
Well,
He's got the invention. He's got the invention. Something outside the box.
Away occasionally because I like it. Do it. Don't stop doing that sort of thing. Yeah, TK will have over 20 GA this season. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Well, he's already got 7 goals in the Prem now, I believe, after 2 braces.
Got 10 in all comps. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I think he's hitting. If Liverpool can actually, do you know what I'm going to say, Jay? There'll be an asterisk. It depends on the landscape in terms of how many games he gets on the second part of the season. That's my worry.
He's got to play. He's got to play.
But my worry is
at the moment.
He does, but how much weight can he? I'm not saying I want Ekitike dropped. I'm just thinking realistically, Isak's going to have to start at some point, isn't he?
I think they all start right now because Salah's not going to be about. I say just keep this diamond. Just keep playing the system.
Oh, keep the diamond, bro. 100%.
If Slot don't change it, if Slot keeps his system now, and we keep going playing the way we are, I think we're going to climb back up the league and put ourselves back in contention. But that's if Slot carries on playing this way. Got to. It gets the best out of all the players. Like against Brighton, they did the wide camera angle above you, and I was like, shit, we have a midfield. Yeah. There was players in the middle of the park. I was like, this ain't happened all season. I like this. Can we just maybe keep it? And it suits everyone. It suits Curtis Jones, Szoboszlai, Grav, did strikers, Wirtz. It suits everybody. Keep it this way, man. Keep starting them together. Let's try and get a partnership game between them while Salah's away for the month.
Yeah.
100. All right, let's read out the supers, guys, before we head out. Right. Big up Ash. She says Joe Ordonez will be our urine timber. I don't even know about this guy.
He plays for Bruges, I think.
Does he?
People talk about
let me take a screenshot of this one. I'm gonna check out the players.
People talk about him like he's Pacho.
Yeah.
Let me check out
Club Bruges have got quite a good academy, you know.
Oh yeah.
Club Bruges are producing some talent. In the last 2 years, some good youth players have come through Club Bruges' system.
Yeah, they're starting to become the what's it called? They're the new not Ajax, but like they're starting to become
the Belgian version, ain't it?
Bigger Ash. Gakpo leads Liverpool's big chances created on 7. Morris on 6. Szoboszlai and Macron on 3. Florian Wirtz is still on 0 big chances created in Premier League. Awkward.
20 shots a game, man.
I'm gonna be honest. This big chances thing, I don't know about this, bruv. Like,
I could create a big chance. Do you know
what is considered a big chance?
The thing is, though, if you're taking 20 shots a game, you're going to create a big chance.
Created a big chance. Bruv, this is what I'm saying.
You know why? Because the times he's assisted it, the person taking the effort has not scored or something like that, or not had a shot on target, so it doesn't get counted. But here's the thing. I've been hearing a lot of people talking about GA this season, from a lot of people, big content creators, big people on social, right, talking about GA. But when you talk about Mo, you're not allowed to talk about GA.
Not this season. You're not allowed to.
All of a sudden, it's all about GA because Shirky's GA is through the roof and he's playing extremely well.
This is what I'm saying.
But when I watched Wirtz, the last 4 or 5 games I've watched him, the little things he does on the ball, no one else in our team can do. The little turns, the little touches, the little drag, the little pass in between the line, the pass before the assist, that sort of stuff, that don't get marked up as a stat.
Yeah. No, agree. Do you know what? Big up, Makuma, big up here. He said, like, Matt, y'all were crashing out on my boy. Wirtz has not created nothing. Anything, sorry. Shall I give you just one example? I ain't even got Cal's memory. I'm in as well. Remember the Chelsea game? When Wirtz came off the pitch? What did he do? Set up Salah instantly. What are we doing here? Big chance. Makuma, you're going mad. Don't get me going mad, bro.
Yeah, these stats don't.
I'm not even feeling well. Let's not have these debates, bro.
These stats don't get counted. That's just what I'm.
That's what I'm saying. You're telling me that wasn't a big chance for Salah.
So a lot of people might watch a game of football,
what?
And see that someone's got like no stats, like no GA, no nothing in that game.
Big up Makuma though. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that play must have been shit. Then they watch the highlights back or watch the game back, and they're like, wow, he balled out. You know, stats didn't show the proof there. They're doing things that stats don't count.
Agreed.
That's the
because Wirtz been playing well, other than like literally getting assists and goals. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Like
So-
that goal we scored the other day, where he was the pass before the assist, and his pass was harder than the assist.
Yeah,
Because don't forget, the assist now could be I'm a left back and I give my left winger the ball just over the halfway line. He runs with it and scores. That counts as an assist.
agreement, Kuma. Yeah.
That counts as an assist. But what did
It
I
does.
do?
It does.
What did I do?
You see what I'm
No,
saying, Jay?
So some people's passing before the assist is better than the assist, and is the
Yeah.
reason the assist happened. But that pass won't get counted. Dominic
Oh, yeah.
Szoboszlai's dummy for Rio's goal against Newcastle should have been counted as an assist, because Rio don't score if Szoboszlai don't do that dummy.
Yeah, I know.
But it doesn't get
because
counted.
Because it didn't touch the. Yeah.
Salah
It
got
touched
the
the ball
assist.
though still.
But
Mm.
if he doesn't do that dummy, Rio don't score, and that dummy was world class. You know. it's
Oh,
beautiful.
of course.
So things like that, so that don't count. That won't go down on the stat. So yeah.
No, agreed. Listen, one thing I say about Verts, and I think Makuma's right, in terms of like, we do need to see some goals and assists though, because again, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Verts now, especially in the diamond. You see the diamond? That
Suits him
is
better.
Verts. All that's him. Now we
Correct,
just need
correct.
Verts to get on the score sheet and actually get something.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Can we get a bit of praise for certain players who had a bit of abuse last season, all season? Last couple of games, I think Kirkez has been very good, by the way.
Oh,
Very good.
100%.
Very
Yeah, he has.
good, bro.
Since we
100%.
changed the system, which now suits him, shock,
He looks better.
it looks better. I'll tell you who else it will suit when he comes back next week, Frimpong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
It will suit Frimpong better as well. And I bet
Yeah,
see
because
the best out of
them
Frimpong
guys
as well.
providing the width on the flanks, that's their game, innit? Kirk
They
is
play their natural game. Yeah,
Mm.
play their natural game. You get the best out of them. We'll look better.
100. Agreed. Right, guys, we're gonna end it here. Listen, this show actually went a little bit longer actually than I anticipated, as you guys
Good
know.
combo,
I am
man. Good
yeah,
combo.
very, very good show. I feel like absolute garbage because I'm unwell. That's why you heard me coughing quite a bit, chats. I do apologize. Also, bigger Evan in the arena. I think we still have over 400 people here. If you could smash the like button, we'd really appreciate that. Not only that, we're on the road to 40k. I think we're like less than 200 subscribers away from the 40k. So if you could do that, you know what I'm saying, help us get there. This video is sponsored by okjersey.com. Go and get your football jerseys for about £15. Use the code Kopish and get 8% off. Not
Right,
only
do you
that,
know-
do you
Do you
guys
know they
yeah,
get
go on.
delivered in time for Christmas?
See, right now, I'm gonna say no. Right, if you used to order it now, I don't think so. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Actually, yeah, right now you wouldn't. I don't think, because it normally takes on average 2 weeks. But I don't know if they've done like a so-called express thing. So I'd have to get back to you on that, Jay. But I don't think so. Off the top of my head, I don't think so.
No worries. Dave O'Cop has just tweeted saying Bayern Munich defenders Upper Meccano has apparently been offered to Liverpool.
This is why I want to keep Konate, bro.
Nah, Matt. Honestly, he's
No,
not that
I'm
bad.
not saying, bro.
Matt's seen it. He doesn't want to go there.
Bro, I'm already I'm feeling unwell, bro. I don't want to end the show on a Debbie Downer, bro. Yeah, please, let's not. Do you guys have anything coming up? I know, Jay, obviously you've got the Visor copies. That's later on tonight.
Yeah, we've got
You
some
get
good
me?
shows later
I'm
tonight.
praying that a bit of Lemsip, I should be there, Jay. Hopefully, I should
it's
be
not
there.
going to be. If everyone's there tonight, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a Liverpool.
Oh, Jay.
I'm going to do a Liverpool quiz.
Oh, the sauce is a bit.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying Dave O'Cop because
It's just, I'm just saying, yeah, it's fair to say though.
Yeah, David O'Cop is reporting it, but the actual source is from TZ.
yeah, TZ.
Okay.
They're basically like marker in it.
Yeah.
Fair. Ram, you got anything on your channel coming up, bro?
Depends on how I'm feeling, bro. If I feel a lot better, I might be streaming tonight, bro. Just on Liverpool, and then tomorrow will be the preview for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Saturday night, isn't it? Saturday, 5:30.
Yeah, it's 5:30. We should be doing our preview either later on today or tomorrow. We'll let you guys know.
I'll go to smash them.
We should be, yeah, we're 100%. If I'm feeling a lot better, I'll be there. Depends on how I feel, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm struggling. What else is there? Tomorrow we got
ginger biscuits. I'm telling you.
no. I hear it. No, ginger's good as well. Ginger's good, man. Also tomorrow, guys, we got the show with Hassam and Tom as well. They should be there as well. And yeah, keep it on the socials for anything else, people. On my actual own channel, until I feel better, I need to just rest up. Maybe just give it a day or a couple of days just to kind of get back to normal. Because right now I feel like I've been punched up, bruv. So yeah, it's one of them ones. But people, listen, bless up, smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the guys as well on their channels, and subscribe to Kopish as well.
He did.
go.
Yeah. I was about to say, quickly touching it just before you go. FSG sold the Penguins, didn't they?
I saw that for between 1.6, 1.7 billion.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't want to get carried away because you don't know what they're going to do with that money.
No.
We can only hope, innit?
Summer transfer war chest. Here we go.
Yeah, could you imagine though? Could you imagine if we like do the same thing again that we did this year? Crazy. Or last year, should I say?
What do you need? 400
this
million?
year.
No worries. Here you go.
Innit? But yeah. People, listen. Bless up. God bless. Team Kop-ish. It's the LFC Focus Show with my co-host Jamie and Ram. We'll see you in a bit, people. Love.